hotline. Summer, of course, is winding down, and that brings up the question, how do you get your kids to start winding down and getting back into a routine for school? Up next, we have a guest who is a sleep specialist ready to share some tips to get your kids back on the sleep track.
All right, good morning, Arizona. If your kids aren't back in school already, they will be soon, which means you got to get them back in the routine of getting to bed on time. I'm sure they had fun this summer. They had time staying up late, watching movies, doing whatever, but now it's time to get them back on schedule. So Patty Day from Valley Sleep Center is joining us live. Good morning. You are a certified sleep technologist.
Yes.
You know, here's what I would think as far as getting the kids back on their patterns. Just put them to bed early, but it's a lot more involved than that, right?
It's a little more involved than that.
Okay,
yeah.
so how do we start? You know, some of the kids, especially in Chandler, they're already back in school, but they go early. So we got some kids. Most of the kids in the valley are going back. So how do you kind of start and get the ball rolling?
You really want to start about 2 weeks before the first day of school, because we all know what that struggle is, even if it's just 2 days before.
Okay.
And they've actually done studies that show that our circadian rhythm, or our sleep clock, actually takes 2 weeks to reset to get them back into that routine.
So you start two days, you said 2 days before?
2 weeks before.
Okay,
2
and
weeks.
so you start doing what?
Well, you start with a nice sleep routine for them. If you haven't already established one as they've been, going through their years, you really want to start out with 2 hours before their bedtime. You want to say, okay, we're going to start winding down. We're going to limit activities that are stimulating. And for our children, stimulating activities are like the television, the radio, video games. Those are horrible. Laptop in bed. Bad. Cut that out. And if they know that 45 minutes before they go to sleep, they're going to cut out those activities, and we're going to have like wind out activities. Maybe we're going to read a book. We're going to take a warm bath. We're going to pick out our nightwear together, brush our teeth, brush our hair, and then read our book, and then we're going to go to sleep. And if they know this, you're going to take a lot of that battle out of the bedtime because they expect it.
Right.
But knowing that they're starting, because it is the beginning of the school year, you want to get that maybe 10 o'clock bedtime to maybe an 8:30. You can do that in 15-minute increments until you get them to the targeted sleep time.
And you're talking about triggers, the book, that just kind of triggers it as time to go down. How do you know, my baby's only 1. She's 1 today, by the way. Happy birthday, girl. How do you know when they're not getting enough sleep?
Their behavior is definitely going to reflect that. They're going to be grumpy, they're going to be irritable, they're going to be quick to react. And it's really interesting because they've actually just recently done a study on school-age children, and they're linking bullying with sleepiness in children.
So it's really important.
It's very important. And our school-age children actually require, like from the ages of 5 to 12, they are still requiring 10 to 11 hours of sleep a night. And 70% of children under the age of 10 are not getting that.
10 to 12 hours of sleep per night. I'm sure a lot of parents don't know that. Okay, so what should parents do real quickly to make sure that they're getting, the kids, once you close the door, are they getting the right sleep? How do you know for sure that they're doing what you want them to do?
Well, we're hoping that by establishing a nightly routine, because kids are very routine, and that's how school is so structural for them. But as long as we can start that nightly routine on a daily basis, maybe leave their door cracked a little bit so you can peek in on them and make sure that, but take things away from them out of the room. If
take the stimulation out.
Yeah, take the laptops out of the room if they have one. Take the cell phone out of the room. My sister does that with her 10-year-old. She's like, lights out, cell phone's gone, and she still reads to him at night.
That's good advice. Thank you. Take all the toys out. It's time to go to bed. Okay, so if there's 2 weeks before school, it's time to start now. That's according to Patty. Thank you very much. Okay, you can find all of list of all the Valley Sleep Centers on our website at azfamily.com. Okay, we're going to take